everyone, and welcome back to the KVS Bengaluru podcast from PM Sri KV Malleshwaram. With exams just around the corner and stress levels running high, it is the perfect time to talk about how to do well in board exams. And here we are, starting our Stress Buster series, catering to subject wise needs and solutions. To guide our biology students with some helpful tips and tricks, we are delighted to have Mrs. Lekha Anandan, PGT Biology of Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, joining us today. She has been a part of the organization since 2007 and has produced excellent results year after year, motivating and inspiring her students. A very hearty welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Shreya, for a warm welcome, and I'm honored to be here in the podcast.
To begin with, if biology feels like a subject to score in, then why do so many students still end up losing marks?
Usually, what I have noticed is students take biology very lightly. There are a lot of terminologies which have to be memorized, and usually it is these terminologies which the students go wrong. You need to write about replication fork, ORI, 5' to 3' direction, template strands. All these are keywords, and that is what an examiner looks forward. And usually, students tend to miss out on one of the key words, and that is where they lose marks.
I am sure with these tips in mind, we'll do better. Ma'am, if you could guide us to pick just one key strategy for performing well in biology, what would it be?
Oh, that's a very good question. I strongly recommend the 3 R's. The 3 R's, which is read, revise, and recall. Now, when I say read, it basically means that you need to master your NCERT textbook line by line. When your NCERT textbook is perfectly memorized, you will find that a question on MCQ, a short answer, a long answer, or a CBQ question can easily be scored whether the question is directly or indirectly asked. Now, when it comes to revision, it has to be write down, note point by point, and usually I would suggest go with the flowchart, practice the diagrams and the mind maps. This helps you to revise the topic perfectly. And the last is the most important, that you need to recall the topic what you have studied. When I say recall, just close your eyes and just recapitulate whatever you have studied and ensure that you are able to recollect each and every point. This will help you score better.
We have been running after so many resources, but now we know that it's the NCERT, the recipe book with the winning formula, and most importantly, the 3 R's. Ma'am, we usually find in our question papers that diagrams are to be labeled. Is it still worth spending time learning to draw them?
Absolutely. Diagrams are the key and important integral part of biology. If you remove diagrams from biology, then biology cannot exist. So it is very important that you practice the diagrams. As you said, nowadays it's only the labeling which is asked. But say, for example, your question is on the development of monosporic embryo sac in angiosperms. Instead of writing a long descriptive answer, I would suggest you can always draw the diagrams, label the diagrams, and that will fetch you full marks. Similarly, a switch on or a switch off condition of lac operon or a Hershey Chase experiment, all these can surely be represented with diagrams.
Okay, ma'am, we will surely learn to draw these diagrams as now we know how important they are. When answering long answer questions, ma'am, where do students usually go wrong?
Okay, usually students tend to fear about long answers. Now, what I say is long answers are an amalgamation of 2 or 3 short answers. Say, for example, you are studying human insulin. Yes, in
Yes.
biotechnology unit, which is a most often asked question. Now, instead of studying the whole concept together, you can break it into 2 or 3 smaller short questions. Say, for example, what is the difference between pro-insulin and mature insulin? When you do that, you need to practice with diagram. Then the second part of the question is, why did there be a necessity for the preparation of human insulin? And the third question will be, how did Eli Lilly company prepare the uh, human
Human
insulin
instinct.
with through biotechnology. Now, when you learn these three questions, what happens is your long answer can be answered easily. Now, when I say a long answer, it is very, very important that you write, start with the definition, follow it up with explanation, draw diagrams wherever necessary, preferably go with flowcharts. There you tend to lose less marks and score better.
As you mentioned earlier, flowcharts. They sound simple, but how exactly can students use them as their secret weapon to boost their understanding and eventually their exam performance?
Fine, that's something we have to ponder on. When you write an answer in the form of a flowchart, it makes it very clean and presentable. Along with that, there is a lot of conceptual clarity. And the most important, it is very easy for the examiners to evaluate a flowchart rather than reading a long descriptive answers. But the key point is that you should not miss out any point when you write a flowchart. So it's always better to represent, especially the complicated topics like human genome project, DNA fingerprinting, or it could be RNA interference, which most of the students, fear about. So these topics can surely be learnt and represented well with flowcharts.
So, friends, remember the key points to hit the goal. Ma'am, when the examiners are checking the papers, what is the X factor? How can a student write an answer that doesn't just pass but actively jumps off the page and convinces the evaluator to award full mark?
Okay. Systematic presentation is the mool mantra for fetching very good marks. Now, when I say systematic presentation, it means that you start with the definition, okay, then write the explanation, draw neat diagrams, and what is very important is instead of writing a long descriptive answers, preferably go with key points or in the bulletin form, underline all the important words, use NCERT terminologies, write neatly.
So, we need to focus on the presentation part. When time is tight and students need to maximize their efficiency, what are the high yield chapters or topics, the ones that always come up in exams and are guaranteed to offer best return on investment in terms of marks?
You know that in biology, it is not chapter wise which carries the weightage, it is unit wise weightage. So you have to study as per the unit weightage. Now, when we talk about the weightage of marks for per unit, you start with reproduction, which is for 16 marks. Genetics and evolution carries 20 marks, whereas the third and the fourth unit, which is biology and human welfare and biotechnology, carries 12 marks, whereas the last unit, which is ecology, is only for 10 marks. Now that you know the weightage of each unit, you can start preparing accordingly. What is very important here is you cannot neglect any of the chapters, and each and every diagram in the textbook is very, very important. So, totally, your NCERT textbook is what you need to focus on, and every topic, every diagram, and every unit is as important. But the 5 markers usually come from reproduction unit and genetics and evolution. So when it is a long answer, you can concentrate on those chapters.
So now we know where to focus at. Thank you very much, ma'am, for being with us today, guiding us all to give the best and take the best. It was wonderful talking to you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Shreya. I hope my tips would benefit all the students out writing the board exams. All the best to all of you.